Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike, the intern, Ned Reynolds, back in the studio. We've made it to the halfway point of the week, and I know Ned still got that smile on his face because it's going to be 90 today, so I guess you're welcome. It's crazy to think that tomorrow we're going to get the full schedule for the NFL. They're going to drop it on us like it's an award show, and that's just the way the NFL markets these days, but that's a cool thing. We do know the first two games are set for the Kansas City Chiefs, though. Who are they playing?
They do know their first two games, and this is because of the way the NFL has incrementally marketed their program. This is a brilliant ploy. Absolutely brilliant. I'm not being facetious. It really is. They released part of the schedule Monday, Tuesday, yesterday, and here we are coming up on Thursday, tomorrow, when the whole schedule will be released. But they whet your appetite. It's beautiful. Anyway, the Chiefs do know their first two games. First one will be on the road in Houston, Texas, against the Houston Texans, and there is a reason why they're playing that. I'll explain that in a split second. And then they come home and play a Thursday night game against the Los Angeles Chargers. Well, the NFL has said, is that really fair to have a team playing opening week on a Sunday and then come back and play a Thursday game? Well, it's the way it has to be done. That's the way the schedule is. So we've got the Chiefs slated in there for the Houston game. Houston's not very good. Houston, as a matter of fact, may go winless this season. They're really not. They just traded Deshaun Watson. They don't have anybody there at QB. It's a really weak team. That's what we'll do. We'll put them playing the Houston Texans in that first game. Won't have to put out a whole lot of effort. Kansas City should run away with it. Then come back, and they'll be pretty well rested for Thursday night when the Chargers will be a pretty good test.
They're probably one of the hardest opponents in the division, in my opinion. I don't care what anyone says. The Chargers have been the one I've had my eyes on for a couple of years now, and they're definitely going to give us a run for our money. But based on the arms race in the AFC West, it looks like it could be anybody's game this year for sure.
Well, they'll have the Herbert kid at quarterback, and he can play.
Oh, yeah.
And the Chargers have loaded up during the offseason. That's going to be a tough opponent. In any respect. And, of course, you have to play them twice.
They got to play them twice. They got a hell of a receiving core. So, yeah, it's going to be one hell of a season. I can't wait. Getting closer and closer all the time. A major race this weekend, actually, in the Midwest. Where's it at?
Kansas Speedway, Kansas City, Kansas. Great attraction. It really is. This is the Advent Health 400 that they're coming up with. Sunday's, of course, the big race. They'll drop the green flag at 2 o'clock, and then all the major stars from NASCAR will be there. NASCAR has two races in Kansas at the Kansas Speedway. One is in the spring, and the other is in the fall, usually on a date when the Kansas City Chiefs aren't at home. Now, the Kansas Speedway is in Kansas, but it might as well be in Missouri, too, just across the border. But the fact of the matter remains, this is a big one, and they can seat about, 75,000 in there for that race. If it's a nice day Sunday, and it's expected to be a nice day, hey, watch out. They'll have a big crowd up there. Everybody will love it. That's the big race coming up this week. Then, of course, we're getting into the latter part of May when racing is really a big deal.
It's a big deal around here for sure. I know several guys that are going up to the race this weekend. So, Blues definitely needed that dub in Minnesota yesterday. Did they get it?
Did. Vladimir Tarasenko had all three Blues goals. All three of them. Blues win 3-2 over the Minnesota Wild. Wild had the lead 2-1. But Tarasenko, who is an all-pro and a great player, scored the hat trick, and the Blues get the win. That puts the Blues up now 3-2. They come home. They could wrap it up later on this week when they play the Wild again, then move on. This is a never-ending series in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, the Stanley Cup is just like the NBA playoffs. It just goes on forever, but that's a good thing, and let's go Blues. So, baseball scene, real busy right now. Everyone's playing every day, it seems like, but that's the way it goes in May. Did the Missouri teams get a win yesterday?
One did. And the one that did was the Springfield team, but they had to bite their nails to do it. The Springfield Cardinals are playing in the morning for yesterday
Kids
and
Day.
Today, and it's an interesting thing because they're dividing up. All the schools want to send their kids. Well, you can only take half of them at one time, so they played a day game yesterday. We'll play another day game today against the Amarillo Sod Poodles.
Ned's favorite team.
Do you know what a sod poodle is?
I've never seen one in my. Well, maybe I haven't.
Yes, you have. Yeah, they're prairie dogs.
Oh, okay. They just call them different names. Oh, hell yeah, I've seen them.
It is a colloquialism out
Western
there in
Kansas,
western Texas.
Colorado,
that's where they are.
yeah.
So they call them sod poodles. Anyway, that's beside the point.
Tear up your yard, man.
Oh, they will.
Dude, I have them in my mom's yard in Colorado.
They're worse than moles.
Oh, dude, they're awful.
Anyway, playing the game. Cardinals go into the ninth inning leading 11-5. Start biting their nails because Amarillo came back with 5 runs and Springfield wins the game 11-10. Kids had to love that one. Well, the Cardinals are home. They're taking on the Baltimore Orioles, one of the weaker teams in baseball, and lost to them last night. Baltimore wins by a score of 5-3 over the Cardinals, but it's a 3-game series. Cardinals get a chance to get well tonight and tomorrow afternoon, and the Royals, they just can't seem to get it together. The team has a lot of skills. They have a lot of very good players, but they just can't win. Texas Rangers beat them last night 6-4.
Rangers good team this year?
No, that's just it.
That's not what I want to hear. Well, speaking of inconsistency, it's kind of the same thing. You could say the same thing about Missouri State Bears because they have flashes of brilliance every now and then. I mean, they beat Arkansas, and then they go and they play Salukis, and they just get destroyed. But it's inconsistency, and that sucks. But it seems like they're back on the winning track right now. Is that right?
No, they're not. That's the problem. They're not. Went down to Cape last night. Now Southeast Missouri is pretty good.
Good team.
They are, but the Bears are playing right with them, hitting the ball. Got 7 runs on the board. Game is tied 7-7 in the ninth inning. Up comes Southeast Missouri. Lead off, walk off home run.
Done.
Lead off batter, walk off home run. Southeast wins it. Get this about Southeast, though. That's their 30th win of the year. They're a pretty good team playing the Ohio Valley Conference. This is a non-conference game, but over and above that, the Bears need to win. Anyway, Southeast Missouri is 21-1 at home, and that is the best record in the United States for a college team. Best home record in the USA, 21-1 on the year, and number 21 was against the Bears last night.
Big deal in Cape Girardeau. I remember it very well when I was there. Well, it's unfortunate for the Bears here. Hopefully they can get back on that winning track sooner than later. Last but not least, the NBA playoffs still rolling.
They are. And 2 routs last night. Miami Heat routed the 76ers 120-85, and Miami leads that series 3-2. And the Phoenix Suns, who many think will win the NBA championship, routed the Dallas Mavericks 110-80. And Phoenix leads that series 3-2. More games coming up tonight. Should be a lot of fun. Keeping an eye on the Blues in the National Hockey League, though, and see what happens with them.
Yep, let's go Blues. Ned, have a wonderful Wednesday. I'll see you tomorrow, sir.